Thank you. Thank you. Now we move over to next short academic talk by Ajit Shah in Dhule, and the topic is the title is How I Prevented a VIP Patient of Bombay from Going to USA for Medical Management. And he said, and which is right also, remember, I was practicing at Dhule, far away from Mumbai, and it's a small town at that time. So, Ajit Shah, please start.
Okay. The incident took place in 2006. My son's marriage was on 30th of June of 2006. 10 days before that, or 11 days, 19th of June, I got a call from Bombay from an acquaintance. And I thought because he probably knew about my birthday and he was calling me for wishing me on my birthday on 19th of June. But it wasn't that. He told me that you have to come to Bombay to see a patient. So I was a little surprised and asked him a little bit about it. He said, no, you come. They are now planning to go to USA for treatment. And I told them that I want to call a doctor from Dhule who will, I want one more opinion before he goes, he takes the patient to USA. I was really puzzled, but he just insisted. I said, okay. I was already busy with preparations for my son's marriage. But next day, one of his contacts in Dhule came to my house and gave me a train ticket of the same evening. And I went, I did a travel overnight. And in the morning, I reached his office. And there, the patient and her husband were called. Her husband initially was not really very keen on that, but my acquaintance had insisted that at least you call, let me call him once, and then you can fly to USA and do whatever you want. So when I went to his office, they also came and they gave me some space in another room, and the patient brought a huge file with her. Husband was also with her. And after seeing the thickness of the file only, I was really surprised to see that much file so big. And I just took brief history, hardly 5 minutes. And he said, the husband, a very intelligent person, actually, he was a nuclear scientist working as a director of Bhabha Atomic Research Center. So a very knowledgeable person. And it was his wife who was having fever from 99 to 102 every day for the previous 365 days. And that was the only presentation that they told me. And he said, I've got a full diary and I have records of every day. And there is no change in her fever pattern. And it is consistent for 1 year. Then I went through the file. You know, it took me more than 1.5 hours to go through her file of all the kinds of reports, management, drugs, injectables, and whatnot. She was seen by the topmost physicians of Bombay, maybe about 7 or 8 of them. And she had so many blood investigations, so many X-rays, so many CT scans, so many isotope scans, and whatnot. Initially, she was treated with antibiotics, then anti-malarials, then anti-typhoid, and eventually even anti-TB treatment was also given without any proof. So, and there was no change in the fever pattern. Now, in the end, she was seen by the topmost hematologist of Bombay, and she had 2 bone marrow aspirations done, bone marrow examinations were done, and there were some reports showing something marginally abnormal. But whatever it was, you couldn't challenge any of these top physicians of Bombay and hematologists. I can even tell you his name, Dr. M.B. Agrawal. He is a topmost hematologist, at least at that time. He had started her on anti-neoplastic drugs. So she was on some kind of, she probably had some kind of myeloproliferative disorder according to the hematologist. And he had started giving her some anti-neoplastic drugs. I was puzzled in the sense that whatever treatment was given, there was no change in her fever pattern. And when I looked at her after going through the file, and I just looked at the patient, you know, she was about 55 years old. And she did not look ill to me. That was the most striking feature. She did not look ill. So then I didn't ask any further questions, but I had something in my mind. And I again rechecked the file to see whether that particular test was done or not. So again, it took 15 minutes for me to rapidly go through the tests. And there was no mention of that particular test. So I suggested the nuclear scientist that I would like to do at least 1 blood test and 1 isotope scan. And if there is no answer after that, then you can proceed to go to USA. So he said, okay. So I wrote down the test, and same evening I came back to Dhule because I had to do a lot of work for my son's marriage. 3 days later, I got a phone call from him. And what I suspected was exactly right. And he told me he wasn't very excited or anything. I mean, he knew everything about nuclear medicine, isotope scans, because he was a director of Baba. So he knew everything. But his voice sounded very cool, nothing like excitement. I was surprised at that because we had got the diagnosis. So then I told him on the phone only that take these medicines, stop all your previous medicines, take these medicines and call me after 4 days. And soon after that, I rang up the acquaintance and told him that I have made the diagnosis. And the moment he heard that, he was so excited and he jumped with joy. I mean, that acquaintance was so impressed because he was taking a big sort of challenge by calling me up to Bombay. And when he came to know, he was really very excited. Unfortunately, the patient's husband was not excited. That was a bit striking to me. But anyway, my acquaintance literally shouted at his family members, see, what I did is right. I called Ajit Shah from Dhule and he has made the diagnosis. Another 4 days later, patient's husband rang me up. He had my number, but I didn't have his number. He called me and he said that the moment we took the first pills you prescribed, she has no fever since then, even once, which she had for 365 days. So I said, okay, you continue for 4 more days like that, then you reduce the dose, and you, after 3 weeks or 4 weeks, again, you can call me if you want, and now there is no need for you to go anywhere else, neither in India nor in USA, and she will be all right. So I will stop at this stage. I just want to listen to the reactions of you guys, or otherwise, if you want, I can give you the diagnosis.
No, let people attempt, please. Let people attempt.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I would attribute this today as the rare day of the rare medical presentations and rare
That's right.
cases which all of you have, Uday, Madhu, and
Yes,
have,
quite right.
and I think it has become a very interesting day. So please comment now. Unmute and comment. Yes, Uday.
Was it hyperthyroidism?
You are somewhat on the right track.
No,
I call
others
this as
attempt. Let others attempt also.
okay, okay.
Anybody else, please?
Was this an ovarian teratoma?
Well, medicine cured it.
That would be beyond my field, and she was investigated very thoroughly. So I don't think they would have missed that.
Maybe a watermelon. Was it a parathyroid adenoma? We are just trying to say.
Okay, shall? Yeah, okay. Any more suggestions?
Any more suggestions, please? So we give up. So it was a rare diagnosis he suspected. Shall we move to the diagnosis?
Sure, yeah.
Yes?
Maybe he should give us another hint here.
Hey, Madhu is getting excited now.
Let our mind scratch.
Okay, I'll give you 2 more minutes later. Let us see who scratches the head more.
Ajit, is it above the diaphragm or below the diaphragm?
Yeah, good idea. Good idea.
Ajit, is it
Yes, it
above
is
the
above the
diaphragm or
diaphragm.
below the diaphragm?
About the diaphragm.
Above the diaphragm.
Is it anything to do with brain?
Yes, Prakash.
Below the brain.
Hashimoto's disease. Hashimoto's disease.
That's
Hashimoto's
a hypothyroid. No, that would be hypothyroid. No.
No, that is thyroiditis.
You would,
Oh, initial
Thyroiditis.
thyroid.
You would-
Hashimoto's disease.
But for 1 year,
who said that?
Prakash.
Yes.
Husband of Ujjwala Sheth.
Let me see.
Yes, yes.
yeah, got it.
You are on the right track. Yes.
Right.
I have to submit that.
Anything to do with
I suspect-
antibodies?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a
Yes, yes.
Hashimoto's in antibodies.
Antibodies or antibodies. Yeah. Thyroid.
so hyperthyroidism
Anyway.
stage of thyroiditis.
Very good. Very good.
Hashimoto's disease.
Yes, it is somewhat in the same fashion. I called it subacute thyroiditis, which presents initially with hyperthyroidism and later
That is
on
a-
either
Hyperthyroidism.
becomes normal or becomes hypothyroidism. So, she had so many nuclear scans, CT scans, but nobody had thought of doing even simple thyroid function test and isotope scan. And when I told him, that nuclear scientist, that I want you to get this I-131 thyroid scan and T4, T3, TSH and thyroid antibodies, and that would be enough. So he was really puzzled.
It
He
is
thought that
Hashimoto's.
with so
That
many
is Hashimoto's
investigations,
disease.
having spent
Yeah, you are right. You're right.
Hashimoto's
Ajit-
disease is different. With subacute thyroiditis, you can get fever and symptoms up to 12 to 15 months.
Yes, that's the
And
difference.
then it may go into hypothyroidism. But Hashimotoxicosis and Hashimoto is somewhat different.
What did the scan show?
But scan showed a diffuse
Hyper.
hypoperfusion of thyroid gland.
And what was the T3 and T4 TSH levels?
That I think T3, T4 were low. I'm not sure. I've forgotten that. TSH, because it is 14 years back now. TSH was probably
High.
on the little bit on the higher side. But iodine scan was very clear, showing diffuse hypoperfusion.
Yeah, that's the classic of Hashimoto's. The uptake of iodine is very, very
Yeah.
low in case of thyroiditis or the Hashimoto's
Yes.
disease. And that's very classic.
What
And,
medicine you gave? What medicine
Yeah,
you gave?
that's right. A good question.
Steroids.
I gave her medicines which did not cost even 10 rupees.
Steroid.
Just aspirin and prednisolone.
Prednisone, yeah.
That's it.
Okay, that's good.
And within the moment she got first dose of these two drugs, she had no fever at all. And within 4 days, he said there is no fever up till now. And after 8 days, he said everything is fine. And I just told them to taper the dose of steroid over the next couple of weeks and full stop. And after that, I have no contact with
I
them.
think Dedia wants to
That's
speak
it.
and also Prakash wants to add something.
No, that's
I am surprised that even TSH was not done, knowing that, you know.
That's
the
right.
Yeah, this is the basic workup which is done on the first day, you know, if you
First
see
day.
somebody. Yeah.
And you
With the-
know,
with
I
that
don't
kind of
want to mention the names, but all top physicians were consulted. And I only mentioned about MD Agrawal because he is a well-known hemato-oncologist and hematologist, and he is the one who had ultimately started around anti-neoplastic drugs. And there was no difference, no change, nothing. And with so many scans done, I don't know how they did not do anything about thyroid.
Sometimes the VIP,
Nobody did
you know,
anything about thyroid.
because most of the time VIP get the treatment from the doctors who are not used to this kind of, you know, starting from the scratch.
Yes, I think you are right, Dedia. You are right. It's better not to be VIP. Doctors are afraid.
I agree with Lakshman that VIP syndrome is a big problem.
Yes.
Even I have faced it and I have seen it and I have dealt with it several times. Some other time I will talk on VIP syndrome.
Especially if the VIP is a mafia, it can be big problem like Godfather. Okay, Prakash, I think a short, yes, add please.
Can I ask Prakash, what is your specialty?
He's our
internal medicine and
Oh,
Okay,
internal medicine.
good.
okay.
You know, one
Same
of the
as mine,
common
yeah.
things that we may come across during our practice, which may be very useful, that in fact, I had a patient like this, which I presented at Yale. You know, simple thing, patients, you know, sometimes come with just simple sore throats all the time. You know, and the doctors, you know, as outpatient, they keep on changing the antibiotics one after another, and still they say, you know, I still have the throat problem, and then some people, doctors say, oh, you know, it may be resistant to this antibiotic, so we shall change this. Actually, I had similar case like this, and all I did was the thyroid test and the thyroid scan, which shows the hypoperfusion. The uptake of iodine was very, very low, and very classic of Hashimoto's disease. And you know, in such patients, we can try simple anti-inflammatory medications like aspirin, which you did, but majority of the times in my practice, sometimes you know, they don't respond to that. And if you give a very short course of steroid, prednisone,
Yeah, that's what I
just a
gave.
short
Yeah.
course, it's fantastic. They respond very, very well.
That's what I gave, and that
Yeah.
is also just telephonically I advised.
Yes.
And that would not have cost him even 10 rupees a day.
Oh, I
And he had
see.
spent lakhs of
I don't
rupees,
know what
and
they
he was now ready to spend few more lakhs of rupees in going after going to USA.
So this
And I
is
did the treatment in less than 200 rupees.
yeah,
and,
great job. Yeah,
and
wonderful job.
what-
And very common.
Yeah.
Well,
And
anybody else?
other part was that, can you imagine what must be the fee that he paid to me?
200 rupees.
no.
Uh,
Well, at least he
Coming
should pay
from
for.
Dhule to Bombay, overnight journey twice, and especially going to see one patient in Bombay.
At least say that they should give you the USA ticket, return ticket to USA.
No, maybe I think 500.
Correct. At least.
See your son, yeah.
The acquaintance is, now I can actually tell you the name also. He is a very renowned chartered accountant in Bombay. And before 2006, when I had gone to his house, his office a few times, and Datta Saple wanted me to introduce him because he wanted to become his client. And I had introduced Datta Saple to that chartered accountant, and he is now his client. And both of them are quite happy with each other. But that CA, he hails from Dhule, but for many, many years he has been in Bombay. And he has many VIP patients, including Dr. Sharad Shahs and many doctors, Shashank Joshi, now all kinds of personality, film personality, and all many. So this fellow is also a VIP person, but he had lot of faith in me because there were few incidences of Dhule also which he knew, and in his own personal life also, I had advised him many times on the phone only. Once both chartered accountant and his wife, both were admitted to Jaslok Hospital. That was early, I think 2001 or 2, something like that. And he called me from Jaslok Hospital. His son probably called me, and he told me what was happening. I just told them, you get them discharged from Jaslok, go home and get your GP to write down the prescription which I tell you. And they immediately took discharge and came home. And I wrote prescription for the treatment. And next day, incidentally, they had appointment with Dr. Ramamurthy also. And you know what? Whatever prescription I had given, exactly same prescription Ramamurthy had given. This is only from telecommunication only, nothing else. And he had tremendous faith in me. And that is why he insisted that I should see the patient before he goes to USA. He had a lot of faith in me.
Ajit, you are a clinician of a highest quality. Even you have served,
Thank you very much.
and at the same time, so I think now when we need a prescription, we will ask you to write prescription.
Yeah, we can consult from US.
And send the medicine also because it will be cheaper.
I need Xanax.
I must say,
You know, that chartered accountant offered me initially 2,000 rupees.
okay.
Wow. You should give it
2,000
back to
rupees.
him. Give back to him.
Which I know, but even he had done favors to me also, so I couldn't do that. So I said, even if I go to a 50-kilometer distance from Dhule district, I charge 2,000 rupees for a visit fee. So he said, okay, I will ask him to pay you 4,000 rupees. And I took 4,000 rupees and came home.
Okay.
And I treated the patient in less than 200 rupees.
Good. I think it shows the importance of clinicians. Importance.
And the last line, he, on the 30th of June, that was about 10 days after all this, he had sent a sort of nice gift along with that CA who attended my son's marriage.
Okay, dear.
So, well, that's it.
Good.
Good.
Very
I think we are all very happy with this talk. Today was the
Okay.
talk about the rare diseases,
Thank you very much.
difficult diseases, difficult treatment, but it turns out to be simple treatment. I think we must celebrate it, and we must celebrate the clinicians of our meeting. The
Thank
best
you.
clinicians of the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we move to the next, please. Next is, I'm just suggesting the next is the thought of the day, question of the day. There are two questions. So scratch your mind again to remember your memories. The questions are: narrate a funny story related to your school days. And the second is: narrate any memories of Indian Post Office, railway station, or police station. So it takes back to you, back to the old days in India, in Bombay, or wherever. So can you think it? And as the time is finishing, I think I have asked Yashoda, would she continue with the next program, because she is the in charge. And the Jairam could not come because Jairam could not come
Next.
because he's got somebody died in his family.
Hardly,
So
but hardly any time left.
yeah,
No, this for next
Yeah.
time.
next time.
Next
So I'm
time.
just asking your permission.
Yeah,
Next time.
So this is the last
leave it for the next time.
of the day, and I think we are very well. We have done very well. So can you start thinking about that? If you don't want to think, yes, Yashoda, please.
See, I had my primary education in Guledgud, that is North Karnataka, near Bagalkot. When my father shifted to Bombay, I was in 4th class. So I came to Bombay and I was in the midterm. So he put me in some municipal school at Malabar Hill. And there, after 6 months, I had my annual exam. And I didn't know anybody there, neither I knew Marathi, neither Gujarati. But by God's grace, I got good grades, good numbers. So when I was in 5th, I was transferred to one Hindi school, Marwadi school, Sitaram Poddar, that was at Faneswadi. 4th result came that because it was an MCD school. So I stood first. So my father got a call, Ki, we want to honor your child. So you bring her to that some hall at Marine Drive. I don't remember that. So my father rang up in my school and told principal, my daughter is in such and such class. You please tell her she has to be there at 6 o'clock. It was my afternoon session. Some lady came and called, who is Shoda Bhandari. She never said Yashoda. She said Shoda Bhandari. And I was very timid type and nervous type. I didn't get up. So when I went home, my father was there. He said, you were supposed to be honored by the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Why didn't you attend? I said, I don't know. Nobody called me. And then I realized that Shoda Bhandari was me only. And that thing I still regret to this day.
Okay, very nice.
This story.
Anybody else, please? Yes, Bhadra Channa. And raise the hand so that I know which one will be speaking later. You are muted. You are muted. Yeah. thank you.
Okay. I have a story, not about primary school or secondary school, but about medical school. And then I have a story about post office in India. So when we were in Bombay, we were so fond of movies. So it was raining very badly in Bombay, but we wanted to go and see this movie. So we took a taxi. It was Anju and me and Pushpa Tejura, who was a senior, and Sarojana Shah. So we take this taxi and about a mile or so away from the theater, the taxi driver said, you get off, I can't go any further. Because the rain had flooded the area. So we said, oh, okay, we'll walk. So, and there was another girl with us, Meenakshi Suchak, who was also a senior. So we were happily walking, getting wet, and the water was nearly at the level of our waist. And all of a sudden, one voice from our group is missing. So we are saying, what happened to Meenakshi? So we look back and she was way down at the level of the water. Her hands were flailing, asking for help. So there was a gutter, and the cover was taken off by somebody to prevent the flood from getting worse. So she had sunk into that gutter, and was asking for help. So we went back and helped her. She was all wet. We went to the theater anyway, with her being all wet, being stuck in this gutter. And so that was one episode that I remember very clearly. Now, about the post office, my parents lived in Rajkot in Gujarat, and my brother was in London. So my parents were going to visit London, and my brother sent them the tickets. And the postman parked his cycle at the neighbor's house, and our house was next to the neighbor's. So a cow ate all the mail from the cycle, and my parents' tickets were also eaten up, and they found out because parts of the ticket were near the cycle. So in India, anything can happen. The cow can eat your ticket, your money order, and that was hilarious. My nephew wrote this in Reader's Digest, and he even won a small award for writing this story. Okay, that's all I have to say.
Thank you. This is very good. I think this is a variety show.
In
Yes.
USA,
Who else?
they will say,
Who else
holy
wants
cow.
to say? I will tell a story about post. Yes, Rupendra, please.
Now, when I think about my school days, I wonder how I had certain courage. Like I was in Aurangabad, the first MBBS, and when I passed that, I applied to transfer to Grand Medical College, and I didn't get any reply. And then one student said, "Oh, I saw your letter of transfer. Did you get it?" I said, "No, I didn't." He said, "Yeah, I saw it, and somebody had ripped it or whatever." But just on that, I traveled to Bombay, and I went to the GMC, and I found that I was really, transferred. The irony was, I was not very rich. I had only 30 rupees, and they said the hostel is taken up. It was August, so I had no place to live. So I got out of the GMC compound, and there were canopies, stores. It was raining very heavy. It was August. So I was standing on that canopy, and I did not know what to do because I didn't have money to, rent for like months. And I was just standing there with my bag, and there was, you do certain silly things. There was a guy standing next to me, and I said, "Do you know anywhere that I can stay?" He said, "Oh yeah, I know a lady. There was an Anglo-Indian lady in Baikala who used to rent out to the students." So luckily I got saved. Otherwise, I don't know what I would have done. But you do, when you think, you do things crazy that that now you'd never think of doing anything like that. So it was.
But did you get rented because you didn't have money?
No, that Anglo-Indian lady, I gave her 30 rupees and didn't have any more money. I hawked my Bifura watch to get another 30 rupees to stay for another few weeks until I got the money from home.
Yeah. At least Bombay was the city where people were very open and very,
right,
kind of simpler. But these kind of opportunities were possible for those who don't have anything. Yes, please, Uday.
Yeah, I just want to, I may have shared this story with you guys some point or not, but I'm not sure the whole group. But, well, it's about Madhu. He's not here, unfortunately. But anyway, I'll share it anyways. When Madhu and I had decided to come to the US in 76, sometime around sometime around October, November, something like that, we needed a birth certificate, So I got mine from Kanpur, and I went with Madhu to the municipal office to get his. And we wanted it within a short time, urgently. So he told them, he said, in Marathi, I'm sure you guys can follow Marathi to a certain extent. Anyway, he told that guy, he said, Amala a birth certificate paije. So he said 3 mahina nahi hai, after come after 3-4 months or whatever, you know. So Madhu said to him, "Nahi, the urgent paije. We want it urgently." So the guy coolly looks at him and says, "Ami urgent, fakta death certificate deto." Mala kai paije. But you know, when you grease the palms, things come out. You know, your death certificate gets converted to a birth certificate. So
It's called reincarnation.
reincarnation, yeah.
That's a good one. Good one, good one.
Good. Good. Anybody else? Yes, Ajit? Ajit Shah.
Yes, I just, after listening to Uday, you know, Lakshman must be knowing, if you want to get a GMC registration, you
Yeah.
have to fulfill certain criteria.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we had 6 months of rural internship and only 6 months of clinical internship. And I had medical requirements were more than enough, but they wanted some surgical as well as gynec requirements. And the first certificate which I had sent to GMC showed that it was 6 months of rural internship and 2 months each in obs and gynae surgery, and I think pediatrics or something. And the GMC said, no, this, we don't allow this.
GMC is General Medical Council,
Yeah, I saw the General Medical Council, yeah. And then,
London.
you know, there is a clerk in GMC office. There was a clerk named Bhatkar.
Bhatkar, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Everybody
not-
should know him,
Yes.
Yeah,
Bhatkar.
Yeah.
And
Fevers.
because I am from a Marathi medium, my Marathi was very good, and even now. So whenever you go to the office of Grand Medical, if you talk to them in fluent Marathi, your work gets done easily.
Hmm.
If any other people like Gujaratis or Marwadis or other talking a little funny Marathi, his work will not be done. So I got Bhatkar to change my internship certificate, and he immediately did it. And then our dean had to sign on it, and our dean's signature was only one straight line, if you remember, only one line oblique and one dot.
Was it
Even
Gadgil?
Americans, Gadgil, yes. I think no.
No, Karandikar, no.
No, Karandikar was at the time of admission. And
Sharma.
after MD,
Sharma.
probably
Yes.
Sharma.
Gadgil only. Huh?
Gadgil, I think Gadgil.
Gadgil.
I think it was Gadgil.
Oh,
But
yes. Yes.
you know, I asked Bhatkar whether he will sign this certificate, which is not true. He said, don't worry. And I went with him in the office. He was looking at all other papers, and Bhatkar told him, sign here. And without reading, he had to sign. And
Now-
I sent another certificate to General Medical Council. And then reluctantly, they had to give registration, provisional registration.
Ajit, Gujaratis have to pay 5,000 rupees to get a signature.
Is it?
And I'm
Yeah,
just-
how interesting. I
we have
think
to give some
Srikanth
money.
has raised his hand. Anybody else has raised his hand? Okay, I will tell you